A salesperson can use psychological biases to make sales. There are many types of biases that can be used to be an excellent salesperson, but you should not abuse them. You will see that once you understand and apply them, your professional career as a salesperson will improve in an incredible way. Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we'll explain how psychological biases can influence these areas significantly. Psychological biases are thought patterns we all have that often affect our decisions without us even realizing it. When applied strategically in sales and negotiations, they can be powerful tools for achieving successful results. So, let's get started. We start with one of the most well-known and widely used biases in sales, the anchoring effect. This bias is based on the idea that people tend to give disproportionate importance to the first number or offer presented in a negotiation. Sellers can take advantage of this by initially presenting a price or figure that is higher than they expect to get, thus creating a high anchor. This anchor influences the buyer's perception and can make subsequent offers, even if they are lower, seem much more attractive in comparison. Caution: it is important to use this technique in an ethical and transparent manner to build strong customer relationships. Another effective bias is the scarcity and urgency bias. People tend to value more highly products or services that they perceive to be scarce or have a deadline for their purchase. Sellers can apply this bias by highlighting limited stock or a time-limited offer. This can motivate buyers to make quick decisions for fear of missing the opportunity, thus driving sales. Let's move on to the next psychological tool for selling, the confirmation bias. This is another key element in sales and negotiations. People tend to look for information that supports their existing beliefs and ignore information that contradicts them. Sellers can take advantage of this by asking strategic questions that cause buyers to reveal their needs and wants, and then present solutions that align with those statements. This creates a sense of validation and comfort in the buyer, increasing the likelihood of closing the sale. Reciprocity and commitment are other powerful psychological biases in sales. When salespeople make a small favor or concession to the buyer is more inclined to return the gesture in a positive way. In addition, when people make public commitments, such as saying yes to a question, they tend to follow through on that commitment to maintain consistency with their public image. Salespeople can leverage this by obtaining small initial commitments and offering favors or concessions to build strong relationships and increase long-term sales. In order for you to understand it better, let's explain each of the biases with stories. Confirmation bias. Sarah was an insurance agent with a solid reputation in her community. One day, she met with a client named Charles, who was looking for life insurance to protect his family in case of any unforeseen events. Charles had a preconceived idea that he only needed term life insurance. Sarah, as an experienced insurance agent, began asking questions to better understand Charles' financial and family needs. She discovered that Charles had 2 young children and that his wife was about to return to college for an additional degree. In addition, Charles had a substantial mortgage. Sarah presented Charles with a long-term life insurance plan that included savings and additional benefits. She explained how this plan could provide lifetime financial security for his family and help pay for his children's college education, as well as pay off the mortgage in the event of his death. However, Charles was determined to get term insurance, as he had read information online that supported his initial choice. He ignored the advantages of Sarah's proposed plan and focused on seeking information that would confirm his decision. Despite Sarah's efforts to show him the benefits of the long-term plan, Charles opted for term insurance calculated on his initial belief. Later, when an unexpected event occurred, his family faced financial hardship because the term insurance did not offer sufficient protection. In this story, Charles experienced confirmation bias by sticking to his initial choice of term insurance and passing over information that contradicted his decision. Although Sarah presented a more suitable option for his needs, Charles remained focused on confirming his initial choice, which had negative consequences for his family. Anchor bias. Samuel and Daniel were 2 friends who decided to go to an art auction together. Samuel was an art expert and had studied market trends for years. Daniel, on the other hand, had limited knowledge about art, but was excited about the experience. When they arrived at the auction, Samuel noticed a painting that caught his eye. It was a work by an emerging artist who had been gaining recognition in recent months. Samuel decided to establish an anchor by bidding aggressively on the painting early on. His opening bid was significantly high, far more than he was actually willing to pay. Daniel, following Samuel's lead, also began bidding on the painting, as he trusted his friend's judgment. Competition between Samuel and other bidders drove the price of the painting up quickly. Finally, Samuel won the auction with a much higher bid than he had originally planned. He felt trapped by the anchor ring he had created. Daniel, who had followed suit, also paid much more than he would have originally considered for the painting. Once home, Samuel realized that he had paid an exorbitant price for the painting and that his initial anchor had influenced his judgment. He was frustrated by the overinvestment and realized that he had fallen into anchoring bias. Samuel and Daniel's story serves as a reminder of how initial anchors can have a significant impact on purchasing decisions, even when they do not reflect the actual value of a product. Authority bias. Maria was looking for a new laptop and visited a local electronics store. While looking at the different models, she approached a salesman named Luis, who had a great reputation in the store for being a technology expert. Luis strongly recommended a particular brand of laptop to her, emphasizing that it was the best in terms of performance and durability. Maria, who trusted Luis' expertise, decided to follow his recommendation and bought the laptop he had suggested, even though it was priced higher than other models. After a few months of use, Maria began to experience problems with the laptop. It would freeze frequently and had difficulty performing simple tasks. She called the brand's customer service and discovered that the warranty was limited and did not cover the problems she was experiencing. Frustrated by the situation, Maria researched online and discovered that other models from different brands had better performance and a more robust warranty for the same price or even less. She realized that she had fallen into authority bias by blindly relying on Luis' recommendation because of his reputation as a technology expert. He was just an expert at selling and he had only been in the job a short time, but in such a short time, because he had sold so much, his reputation helped him get more customers to come to the store. Maria learned the importance of researching and making informed decisions, even when an authority salesperson recommends a product. In the future, she promised herself to make decisions based on a more thorough assessment of her needs and options before making a major purchase. This story highlights how authority bias can influence people's purchasing decisions when they rely on the opinion of experts or reputable salespeople without doing adequate research themselves. Reciprocity bias. John was a waiter in a high-class restaurant. One day, he attended a table occupied by a couple celebrating their wedding anniversary. While serving their meal, John noticed that the couple was enjoying their evening and looked happy. He wanted to make sure their experience was unforgettable. As they neared the end of dinner, John decided to use the reciprocity bias to his advantage. He approached the couple and said, "To celebrate your anniversary, our chef has prepared a special dessert just for you. It's a gift from the house." He then brought a delicious dessert that was not on the menu and placed it in front of the couple. The couple was delighted and grateful for John's gesture. They enjoyed the dessert and praised the exceptional attention and service they had received. When it was time to pay the bill, the couple left a generous tip for John, grateful for the surprise he had given them. John was very pleased as he left the table with a sizable tip. He had used the reciprocity bias effectively by offering a generous gesture to earn the couple's gratitude and ultimately earn a larger tip. Although John's gesture was intended to make the couple's experience special, it was also intended to influence their tipping decision. This story illustrates how reciprocity bias can influence people's decisions, even in the context of the service industry and customer service. Social confirmation bias. Martin was a salesman at an electronics store and had a reputation for being a persuasive salesman. One day, Laura visited the store in search of a new laptop computer. Laura was not very tech-savvy and felt a bit overwhelmed by the variety of options available. When Laura approached Martin for help, he recommended a high-end laptop that had all the latest features, including a high-resolution screen and a powerful processor. Although the laptop was expensive and had more features than Laura needed, Martin assured her that it was the best choice and that it was very fashionable among customers. Martin also pointed out that many people had bought that same computer in recent weeks, which hinted at a kind of social conformity. Laura, feeling the pressure to make the right decision and wanting to be fashionable, decided to follow Martin's recommendation and buy the high-end laptop, even though it was out of her budget. Once Laura started using the laptop, she realized that she didn't need most of the advanced features and that she had spent more money than necessary. She felt uncomfortable with the financial burden she had acquired and regretted her purchase decision based on the pressure of social conformity and Martin's persuasion. This story highlights how social conformity bias can influence people's purchasing decisions when they feel pressure to follow the choice of others or to fit into certain trends. Although Martin used social conformity bias to persuade Laura, this decision resulted in unnecessary spending and an unsatisfactory experience for her. Commitment bias. Brian was a salesman at an upscale furniture store. One day, Charlotte visited the store looking for a new sofa for her living room. As she was exploring the available options, Brian approached her and began showing her some elegant and expensive sofas. Charlotte was impressed by the quality and design of the sofas Brian showed her, but was initially concerned about the high price. However, Brian used the commitment bias in a subtle way by offering her a special deal. He told Charlotte that if she decided to buy the sofa that day, he would give her a significant discount and offer her free delivery and a matching set of cushions as a gift. Charlotte, feeling that she had received a special offer and wanting to take advantage of the additional benefits, decided to commit to buying the sofa right away. Although she was spending more than she had initially planned, she felt compelled to accept Brian's offer because of her initial commitment. Once Charlotte had the sofa in her living room, she began to feel some discomfort about the unexpected expense and realized that she may have made a rash decision. Although the sofa was beautiful, she realized she could have explored more options before committing to buy. This story highlights how commitment bias can influence people's purchasing decisions when they feel obligated to stick to an initial agreement or commitment, even if that commitment results in a larger expenditure than they had initially planned. Although Brian used this bias effectively to close the sale, Charlotte regretted her impulsive decision in retrospect. My last words: psychological biases play a significant role in sales and negotiations. Understanding these biases and how to apply them ethically can make all the difference in the success of your sales efforts. Always remember to maintain transparency and integrity in your sales practices to build lasting relationships with your customers. I hope you found this video helpful and that you can apply these concepts in your own sales and negotiation experience. If you like this content, don't forget to like, subscribe and share it with others interested in the topic. See you next time.